say most people in our culture are uncomfortable with emotion, and that's not a problem. It is what it is, right? There are advantages and disadvantages about that. There are a lot of disadvantages, however. And in a business atmosphere, when you're communicating with people that you don't know, you don't see at home, sometimes you don't know really, really well. Other times you do. It's a weird circumstance. I mean, I'm part of a new business networking group. There are some people know each other extremely well. Other people don't know each other at all. And again, that's okay. Having said that, when people are uncomfortable, they typically have a certain way of dealing with that discomfort when it comes to emotions. So if something emotional comes up, if they're getting a little bit too vulnerable or things are going a little bit too deep, they often joke. That's a really common way of dealing with emotion is joking. Another way is kind of pushing people away, making a snide remark or something that hurts somebody else a little bit. It doesn't help the situation. Now listen, a lot of people do this. I actually was thinking about this because a few weeks ago I was on my quarterly retreat and somebody did this. They were joking about, or they were talking about snow, and I made a comment. I mean, I tend to be a fairly positive person if you haven't guessed or you don't know me by now. But I made a comment about how like this might be the last big dump of snow we have, and that we should appreciate it for what it is. And this guy said, "Oh man, you haven't lived in this city very long," and he was joking because he had made a comment about how awful the snow was, and I was painting a different light of that, a different picture of that, right? So, I mean, if you're being negative, somebody comes off and goes, well, actually, there are things to appreciate about this, and you're not comfortable with that. You might joke, you might push them away, you might do something. Here's what I want to encourage you to do right now. While that's normal, it's very normal to do that. A lot of people do. By the way, when I say normal, it's not a compliment. When I say normal, it means that most people do it, okay? And to me, that's not a compliment. If you're doing what most people are doing in this world, you're going to get what most people get in this world. And then that's not ideal, right? Now, there's no judgment in this. When you do what most people do, you are going to have poor finances. You're going to have broken relationships. You're going to have a lot of frustration. You're going to live without purpose. You're going to numb yourself through TV or whatever it is for most of the time. So what do I want to encourage you to do is actually be vulnerable with somebody. Instead of joking, when somebody gives you a compliment, say thank you. Simply say thank you. When we don't say thank you, we're actually stealing that gift away from somebody because they wanted to say something kind to us and we're not allowing it. What's another thing that you can do? When somebody, maybe you're negative and somebody says something positive and kind of contradicts you in some ways, go, you know what, you're right. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder. Simply acknowledging what somebody is doing for you rather than taking that approach of joking or pushing away, what that will do is create intimacy in relationships. Now, I'm not talking about sexual intimacy. I'm talking about general intimacy in relationships. When you connect with people better, when you're real, when you connect with people better, you're going to have far better relationships. People are going to trust you more, and people go out of their way to connect with you and to help you in different ways. Okay, that's an indispensable gift in business. And as an executive, as an owner, when you're dealing with clients and you're dealing with employees, that's something you need to understand. Most executives tend to, and business owners tend to be driver type personalities. Again, they're very kind of they're really external. They're typically not. What's the word I'm thinking about? Give me a second here. Extroverts. That's the word I was thinking of. A little bit of a brain fart there. So when people are extroverts, they tend to be energized by people, but don't go really deep all the time. Now, that's painting with a broad sweep, okay? Healthy extroverts can go deep with people, and healthy introverts can spend lots of time with people, okay? And connect with people and speak publicly and do different things. I'm an extreme introvert, and I feel really comfortable in front of people. What extroverts struggle with is that intimacy in relationships. And so a lot of business owners are driving personalities and they're getting things going and things are happening in business, and yet sometimes the people element is missing. If the people element is missing from your business is going to suffer at some point in time. I remember I sent a video out a few days ago and I said culture eats strategy for breakfast. Culture eats systems for breakfast. If your culture is strong, if you need to hire somebody, you know what? Find me on Facebook. Connect with me. Set up an appointment. I'd be happy to talk to you about this. This is something a lot of companies struggle with. And if you can have somebody come in and tweak culture a little bit, what I do often is I'll come in and I identify the 1 or 2 or 3 people in your company that are already doing that are already connectors, that connect deeply, not networker, not the extrovert networkers that know everyone and everything, but the people who really connect deeply with somebody. You need both. There's not the good and the bad. You need both types of people. And when you have those people that are connecting intimately with everyone, or a small group of people in their company, you're going to have a culture that completely destroys the competition, because people are going to feel connected.